Hello and welcome to Salud SA, San Antonio's premier wellness television show. I'm your host, Anastasia. Each month, I'll seek out San Antonio's best-kept health and wellness secrets and feature homegrown alternative healing pioneers from our community. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Welcome, Brooke and David. I'm so excited to have y'all here.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Thank you for inviting.
Of course. Well, I'm really excited to have this conversation with y'all. So let's get started by talking a little bit about how you got introduced into the wellness industry and then eventually opening Bee's Wellness Cafe.
You could take that one.
Yeah. I used to be a dental hygienist, and one day when I was in the middle of cleaning somebody's teeth, I started shaking and I couldn't stop. My father had actually passed away from Parkinson's, so it was very alarming for me.
Yeah, sure.
I immediately left work and I went to my doctor's office and was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
She was like, oh, let me just write you a prescription. You have a tremor. Let me just give you a pill. And I said, no, I want testing.
Mm-hmm.
So I went through all the testing and
Testing for Parkinson's and just...
Well, no, she immediately said for sure it's not Parkinson's because Parkinson's never has a sudden onset.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like a kind of a gradual thing.
Yeah.
So she ran a whole bunch of tests on me, and at the end, all they could tell me was it's an essential tremor. And they told me that I would be on medicine for the rest of my life.
Great.
Yeah. So I started looking into like different holistic approaches to it instead of the pharmaceutical approach. And I found that CBD was something that helped. So I started taking different CBDs. Of course, it was the oils that everybody talks about that you put under your tongue. I got very little relief with that, but I did see a little bit of improvement that kept me looking. One day I came across a water-soluble CBD, and within 5 minutes, my tremor completely stopped.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
And so when you're talking about tremor, I mean, I understand how it could definitely inhibit, your work as a hygienist. Was it, noticeable? Like if I looked at your hands,
Oh,
could I
yes.
see you? Okay, so this was not just a very fine thing. It was obvious.
Very obvious.
Wow,
yes.
how scary.
It definitely was. But as soon as I tried that water soluble, I knew okay, this is it. I'm going to open a store and I'm going to take the guesswork out of this for everybody else. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I turned to him and I was like, that's what we're doing.
So that was, it was right then.
Right.
It was literally right then. And he kind of looked at me like, okay, how's that going to happen?
Wow. Well, that's the part for me. I love it. It's the part of the manifestation process where you just declare, you say, this is what I'm going to do. You put it out in the universe and you make that decision with such firm intention that it sets the wheels turning, right?
Right.
And then you have
Yes.
then comes all this faith, what am I going to do? And using your intuition to guide you to the next step.
That's a great word.
So David, so you were, so you were a hygienist, very different than you are now. And what were you up to during this time, David?
At that time, I was actually working at the school district
Oh,
for the
okay.
NEISD for a little bit. Yeah. I was at the tail end of my, chef career because that's my degree it's a Bachelor of Science in Culinary and Nutrition.
Oh, nice.
But I was
Okay.
literally at the tail end of that, wondering what I was going to do because it was, you just kind of I was burnt out at that time.
Oh, yeah.
But for me, this also helped me as well because I didn't know the things that I had going on, like anxiety and stuff like that. And so, I started trying it as well, and that started helping me with my anxiety. And that snowballed into my own little journey and wellness path as well.
Great.
Yeah.
So for those of us who don't know, what exactly is CBD?
So CBD stands for cannabidiol, and it is one of the cannabinoids found in the hemp plant or even in the marijuana plant. It is found in both. And so we have what's called an endocannabinoid system. And what that consists of is a set of 2 receptors. They call them CB1 and CB2. They're all literally all over your body, your skin, your brain, all over your organ systems, even inside your immune cells. These receptors are. So we do produce our own endocannabinoid while the plant produces a phytocannabinoid. So that's what CBD is. It is one of the cannabinoids, one of the from the plant.
Okay. And so this is not like THC. I mean, you can't get high off of drinking CBD, or can you? Does it have hallucinogenic effects, or that's something different?
Not at all. It does not have any psychoactive effect whatsoever.
Okay.
What you can expect is just within 15 minutes with our CBD. And the difference between this CBD and most CBDs that we have here is it's a water soluble. So it's been broken down to a smaller particle size compared to the oil. If you do research on an oil that we do sublingually, we only absorb about 30% at best. At best, it's really closer to like 20. So with our water-soluble CBD, you're going to absorb almost 100%. And that's what made all the difference for the tremor. That's really what made all the difference, the absorption.
That's great. So most of the time, or if I were to go into a smoke shop, or I'm going to go on the internet and I'm going to get a CBD tincture, it's probably going to be an oil-based one, is what you're saying. So the absorption's not going to be as strong or as potent. And so do you make this? You said that, or do you carry it? You find it from certain places? Do you mix? What do y'all do?
Yeah, great question. I mean, am I taking this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
We were very blessed early on to partner up with a chemist that was willing to work with us and formulate to our specific needs.
Wow.
So
I
we
love
were
the alchemy.
very blessed early on, really, because if not, we would kind of be stuck with what's out there.
Okay.
And so they were willing to work with us. They heard our story, and that's how that took place. So it's processed in Colorado for us. And so that's how that goes. So we personally don't make it ourselves. So we have a lab that makes it.
But it is to our specifications.
Our specifications, of course, it's tested and retested, et cetera. So
awesome. Great. So you have 2 products here.
That we just brought kind of our best sellers, right?
Bestsellers? Yeah,
The top, the mother, or what we call the flagship CBD. So this is our CBD water soluble. So if you were to look at it, it's not an oil, it's kind of white.
Yeah.
And you can see it's not going to float on the top. And we're not counting drops, we're not guessing. It's clearly marked for an accurate dose every time.
Great.
And then this here, our customers actually call this the miracle cream. It's a salve, though. It's a salve, right?
Yeah.
It's 1,800 milligrams of CBD. It has arnica, comfrey, even a little menthol. So what I always confidently say to people is, unless it's broke, this is gonna take the pain away. So we just brought these two just to have, but we do have a variety, from gummies to, the whole even drinks and coffee, etc.
Wow. And so then what exactly is the difference between a salve and a cream?
That's yours, man.
It's going to be the consistency.
Okay.
Like this one has more of an oily consistency.
Yeah, feel free to.
Can I feel it?
Yeah, you can feel it.
Oh, yeah.
But whenever you put it on, it rubs all the way in. It's not going to leave that greasy feeling afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Nice. And so this is something you would use for, let's say, you had surgery or healing, or I have, a sports injury, or just sore muscles, joints.
I mean, you name it. If we get a headache, we're like, babe, pass the salve, and we'll be putting it on.
Right where it hurts.
I even actually healed a tattoo with it as well.
Really?
this
That's
whole
amazing.
tattoo, I just right after I healed the whole thing, and
wow.
Yeah, it's a very good salve.
Yes, my cousin definitely loves this, and
Yeah, that's right.
I did give some to my sister too, and I haven't gotten a review yet because she's been out of town, but I'm waiting. I'm sure she'll love that, and yes, I can't wait to try some too, because I do tend to get sinus headaches. So when especially like cedar season's coming up, and I would love to put it. Well, I mean, could I put it?
Kind of, you want to keep it away from your eyes, because we've
not
done
eyes.
that
I was
as
gonna
well.
say,
Not
like,
too close to the eyes, but definitely you can put it around the nose because it will help clear your sinuses out.
great.
Yes.
Okay, because that's where it usually hurts. You know, it
Right.
starts to hurt in the sinus cavities. That's awesome. And okay, so I always feel like, especially right now that I'm pregnant, I'm getting this pregnancy carpal tunnel stuff going on. So my joints are really sore in my hands and stiff and swollen. Is that something people who have carpal tunnel, or like, could you just rub it on your hands?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I have people that will come in and they'll have lost mobility from their arthritis.
Yeah.
And as soon as they put that on, they get that mobility back.
Yeah, no,
Really?
yeah,
Oh,
no
wow.
exaggerating. Yeah, it's amazing. You'll see, the people that have their hands, sometimes,
kind of stuck.
and you'll just, they're like, oh my, first time I'm doing this, and it's pretty amazing.
Oh, I'm so excited. Yes, great. Well, let's see. What else do we have here? So what other products do you have at your store? Because I've been in, and it's quite impressive. You have a lot of stuff there, a lot of cool stuff. So
Well, so glad you asked that, because it's definitely not just, the CBD products. We do make our own cold pressed juices that we brought, my wife and I, like we literally make them ourselves.
Yes.
She came up with the recipes. So that's one of the things that we like to talk about, just to help people with, their digestion, helping them with juicing, intermittent fasting. We do that. Our elderberry syrup, which would help you with your sinuses.
Allergy issues. Sea moss as well.
We make our own sea moss there as well. Of course, you're going to have to help me with what else we do. That's for all the products, because we do also offer services.
Yes.
We do, of course, the yoga. I'm a breathing instructor, so we offer the breathing. We offer Reiki energy healing as well.
Reiki masters.
And just, overall consultation for wellness. My wife says it best. What we're trying to do is uncomplicate what it means to be healthy, because it's not that complicated, right?
that's amazing.
So we do, again, the juices, the elderberries, the sea mosses, other non-CBD.
You also make beautiful soaps.
Soaps,
They smell so good.
Yeah, so
And
on those
we so silky soft.
Yeah, and on those, unfortunately, we don't actually make those ourselves, but we do have a family that makes them for us. Yeah.
Oh well.
Specifically
props to
to
them.
our
They smell. So
They are
good.
amazing. Yeah.
And a lot of those will help with like eczema and different things like that as well. So
Great.
yeah.
And so for the juices, do you make just a certain amount of juice every day, and then people order for different types of cleanses from you guys, or
Exactly.
Both. You
Yeah.
take
We
different-
do packages, and we can even customize those packages for people as well, just depending on like different nutritional needs that they may have.
yeah.
And we're basically trying to juice, we every other day to keep them fresh, and then just depending on how it's going for orders and stuff like that. But yeah.
I had the green one
yeah.
last time I was there. It was so good. I love juices and smoothies and all that stuff. So then how did you create the recipes for them?
Well, that's just
Trial and
Try-
error.
And drinking them yourself,
And of course,
probably.
research.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like researching like the proper proportions of like fruit to veggies. And
Yeah.
things like
Yeah.
that.
And that's kind of where my degree came in handy on this little
Yeah, I
situation,
bet.
especially pricing them, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And finding the produce. That's
Right.
that is the key, is getting some good produce. Which is sometimes, we like all our juices have fresh ginger and turmeric. So trying to find turmeric all the time and it's pretty pricey.
Really?
Yes.
So you mean turmeric in the actual root
The
form?
actual
Yes,
root, they all
not
have
powdered form.
not
Yeah.
powdered form, and they're actually medicine, right?
Yeah, they are.
Yes.
Definitely. Oh wow. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love that. So, okay, so then how long did it take you to go from being a hygienist and being at the school district to opening the shop? Like, what was that?
I almost immediately, from that day that I turned to him and said, I'm opening a store, I immediately started doing my research and making movements towards that. Like the very next day.
Yeah.
Yeah, she literally never went back.
Yeah, I
After
never
that,
went
she
back.
never
Like,
went back.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
we were like,
Yeah, your dentist must have been like, oh my gosh.
oh yeah.
Yeah, it was very hard because I had been at that office for like over 10 years and
Yeah.
it was like a family,
Oh.
but I had to do what was right for me at the time. And,
Yeah.
And I was being pushed in a different direction. Like it truly felt like a calling on me. Like when I turned to him and I said, hey, we're going to open up a store, I had goosebumps all over. I had tears in my eyes. Like I felt like it was just put on me at that
Yeah.
moment. So
Yep, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, we immediately, man, we obtained some product and we just started hitting markets like wellness markets and farmers markets to see how we were going to do this, how we were going to start, this is, remember, this was like 4 or 5 years ago where CBD wasn't everywhere.
Yeah.
So we would literally be in our tent like at a market and people would literally just walk by or make faces or
Right.
or even say something to us sometimes. So from that point, it took about, I don't know, like about a year and a half to the store because we were doing markets.
I would say, yeah, a little over a year. With that being said, though, like I already had my eyes on our location.
Yes,
like
that's
I
true.
was already
That's true.
making those movements. So like from the jump, like I already pretty much had an idea that the store was going to be right where it's at.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but the thing is we were getting ready to open, and things kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed, and we were supposed to open in 2019,
Like November was like the
November.
first date that we had that we were supposed to open.
and then things because they were doing the whole redoing, putting rooms and stuff for us, and then right when we were ready to go, we got our certificate of occupancy to move in. That was March 13th, 2020, the day they declared the pandemic.
Oh my goodness.
Well, they declared the shutdown.
Yeah.
And so we were literally about ready to open and we couldn't. So we hunkered down for 2 months. Luckily, we already kind of had our website going. So the customers that we were meeting at markets were starting to,
Yeah.
We're doing deliveries.
we were like, well, I don't know. How's this going to go down? And when we opened, finally, June 1st of 2020, so we've just been open for a little over 2 years. Yeah. We were
Wow.
hoping people would come in, that we did the best we could marketing.
Yeah.
And I think that was the key, is our face-to-face marketing. Like we've had customers literally from day one that still
Yes. That are still
come
with
from
us.
like that first market that we met.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, that speaks to your products
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
It does. And I can also speak to the sea moss. It was delicious.
Yeah.
I loved it. And I'll let Brooke tell you a little bit about it, but I would eat about 2 tablespoons a day. That's what you told me. And I really did. I mean, first of all, it tastes delicious because
Right.
it was mango. And then I felt energized. I felt good just overall. And, being 8 months pregnant, you can get kind of tired. And, but it was very nice and subtle. I felt more energy. But yeah, I mean, Brooke, can you tell us a little bit about this sea moss?
Well, the sea moss, one of the things about it is it has 92 of the minerals that our body needs out of 102
Oh,
that our body
wow.
uses. So it's very good for us. It's giving us a lot of things that we don't get in our everyday diet. Like iodine is something that we don't commonly have unless you eat a lot of seaweed. So that's one of the things that actually helps give you energy. It's also a mucilage, so it helps to get mucus out of the body.
Oh, wow.
So it'll help with allergy issues
Yeah.
too. It reduces inflammation. It's an antiviral. It
Oh,
also
that's
helps with
fantastic.
like joint pain and things like that, connective tissue issues. So
Wow. Well, I need to get some more.
Yeah, we were definitely skeptical about sea moss. That
We
was
were
like,
very.
okay, let's do some research. And now, after a couple of days without it, I'm like, why do I feel?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No
You,
run
you,
down.
yes, you feel the difference.
yeah. And they have various flavors too. So my favorite, or the one that I had, was mango. And but the others sound delicious too. So
Yes.
I'm excited to try it. So then before we end, so y'all were working separately first, when we were hygienists and you were working at the school district. And then you basically work together 24/7. You have a shop together.
Yes.
How does that work? How does that, that's a change, a transition.
I think for sure that's with our faith. for me, I'm just going to speak about me here, and then if you want, you can chime in. But for me, it was just about realizing what Christ was about, and about the love, and about getting rid of the ego. So for me personally, if you knew my whole life and you see how I took my wife's last name, right? And the reason that I did that symbolically, honestly, was to show that, I don't know everything. I was kind of brought up, and everybody's brought up this way, to be a leader, and you're going to be the man of the house, and you know everything, and you're in charge. I'm like, but I don't know. I don't know everything. I don't make the best decisions, but you know what I'm good at? Getting research and then letting her make the decision. So I have, for me, I think it works, because this definitely wouldn't be working if my ego was out there and I'm the man this is my store.
Sure.
This is not my store. This is my wife's dream. So I'm just the main supporter, the advice. That's the best way to describe it, is she's the CEO and I'm the top advisor. And I have to be okay with the research I give, and she doesn't make that decision the way I would have, because that's why she's doing that. I would have gone this way, she goes this way, and there would be no story. Honestly, that's how I feel. That's why it works. I just love, and just being about the love, and not being about myself and ego and how I would want to do things, because it would not be working right now. I know that would.
I think the reason that it works is because we see where our strengths are, and
for sure,
and we respect that, and he does what he's strong at and I do what I'm strong at, and we complement each other in the process.
Yeah, for sure. Typically this would be by myself here, because that's just something that you don't like to do. She
He's a
doesn't
talker. He's a spokesperson.
But this, of course we both have to be here, but so that's awesome. We got you out of your little shell, but yeah, that's perfect. We know our strengths, and I'm perfectly fine with that. We're both, we have to be, because it wouldn't be working. It would be just like every other, I guess, relationship, that didn't make it.
And how long have y'all been married?
We've only been together going on 8 years.
Okay.
Married going on 3 years, actually.
It's almost like me and my husband.
Yeah.
Been together 7 years, married 3.
But it feels like we knew each other before.
Yeah. Well, probably. Probably. But well, that's great. I totally resonate with what you're saying, because you both have a good understanding of your strengths, of your gifts, and you're willing to let the other do things that they're good at, and to complement them. And yes, it takes a lot of putting the ego aside, I think, to make any relationship really jive, because it is. You have to lead from the heart,
right,
and know that you love your partner and you're there to support them, and then just let it be. And that can definitely, especially, no offense, men, but it can be an issue with men for sure.
For sure. I realize that, and that's why, I'm not suppressing it. It's just gone. I don't even want anything to do with that guy. I want just the open, loving guy, and that's how I.
That's great. Well, so how can people find you? What are your social media handles?
Yeah,
and
Bees
website?
Wellness Cafe, Bees Wellness Cafe and Juicery, Facebook, Instagram, our website, TikTok, beeswellnesscafe.com.
Well, awesome. Well, I'm so excited for y'all. Your store is beautiful, and yes, and I'll be visiting again soon. So, any final thoughts or words before we wrap up?
No, I think if you want some knowledge, that's one of the things that definitely separates us, is we do give that knowledge. You wouldn't order some kind of prescription without knowledge, So I think, that's what we do best, is we really research. That's all we do. We don't watch TV, we don't watch the news. We just research and research and research.
Great.
And so
always learning.
Always learning something.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
You.